السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Welcome to a new episode of our series إن أريد إلا الإصلاح ما استطعت. Today we are talking about the trait of your beloved prophet, trustworthiness, الأمانة. So how can الأمانة, trustworthiness, be a critical step in the path of agents of change? Or in other words, how trustworthiness is the path of reformers. Imagine a society where everyone is saying the truth. Everyone is keeping their promises. Like employees are working with honesty. Friends never betray each other. This would be almost utopia, right? This would be like the most amazing place to live at. Well, this would be the power of trustworthiness. And the success of individuals, of families, of businesses, even nations, depends on trustworthiness. So look at what the Prophet ﷺ told us. There is no faith for the one who has no trust. And there is no religion for the one that does not fulfill his promises. And that's hadith sahih, narrated by Imam Ahmed. So faith and trust go hand in hand. That's what the Prophet ﷺ is teaching us. And if you are not trustworthy, then your faith is incomplete. You imagine, your faith is incomplete. So a society without amana will always be full of corruption, full of deception, and definitely not the best place to live at. So trustworthiness also was the greatest trait of the Messenger ﷺ. Imagine, before even receiving revelation, what was he called? What was he named? As-Sadiq al-Amin. He was the truthful and the trustworthy. And subhanallah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did out of his own wisdom pick the Prophet ﷺ, choose the Prophet ﷺ, that was for this reason, because the Prophet ﷺ, when he stood up on the mountain, calling his people and telling them, what happens if I tell you that there is an army behind this mountain and they are coming to attack you? They told him unanimously that we would have believed you, O Muhammad, peace be upon him, like, O Muhammad. So that's why, at least, like this whole idea, had the Prophet ﷺ been a liar, وَالْعَيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, then someone would say, oh, you know what, he is a liar. And we know about him that he is a liar. But because he is not a liar, and he never was a liar, and he never will be a liar, they knew this for a fact, exactly as they knew their names. So then they had to deal in a kind of thoughtful way with whatever he is coming to tell them, and like whatever he is claiming he is receiving from God. So the other frightening hadith, actually, the Prophet ﷺ is saying, when trust is lost, then await the hour. So the loss of trust is a sign of the day of judgment. It's a sign of the last day. And when people stop being trustworthy, societies start to collapse. I wouldn't say just to decline, to collapse completely. So obviously, if we are to pick an incident from the seerah, the life of the Prophet ﷺ, there is no better incident than when the Prophet ﷺ was fleeing away from Mecca and they were going after him to kill him. But subhanallah, he kept Ali ibn Abi Talib at his bed in order for him to return the trusts back to their owners. So now, from a practical standpoint, in this Ramadan, how can we be more trustworthy? Number one, never break your promise. Whenever you are to give a promise, try to always fulfill your promise. If you make a commitment, honor this commitment. These are the qualities of the true believers. And if you cannot fulfill a promise, tell the person that you did promise that I'm unable to fulfill the promise, please allow me some more time, and so on and so forth. So that's number one. Number two, be honest. Be honest in your dealings, be honest in your work, be honest in your transactions. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us in Surah Al-Baqarah, and do not consume one another's wealth unjustly. So avoid lying, so avoid deceiving others for personal gains, because that would be, may Allah protect us, fire in your stomach in the day of judgment. And if you are in business, always give people what they paid for, and that's assuming that you are selling a service and so on. Now, if you are entrusted, and that's number 3, if you are entrusted with a trust, then return it back to its people. If someone trusts you with something, then return it as it was given, never misuse it, return it even better, and so on and so forth. So make trustworthiness a core value in your life. Now, to close here, a society without amana is a society without stability. We need to understand this fairly well. A society with no amana, with no fear from just like eating each other's money and stealing each other and so on, is a society with no stability. And subhanallah, this Ramadan, in the path of reform, will you actually transform yourself to become true ameen, true trustworthy, and excelling in trustworthy as well? The choice is yours, and subhanallah, the choice isn't that hard. It may look hard, but it's not that hard. And I trust that each and every one of us will make the right choice. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be truly trustworthy. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be true agents of change. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us always among those who listen to the speech and follow the best out of it, and enjoy the rest of the Ramadan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.